Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Friday Stargate Hangout. My name is Darren Sumner, and I'm very excited to be able to spend the end of the week with you all, hanging out, talking Stargate with our good buddy Jeff is back from Suns and Shadows cast. Welcome, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me back. Good to be here. Happy
Normally,
Friday,
I'm
everybody.
normally I'm shouting you out as one of our mods who was faithful and helping us run this show behind the scenes every week. So it's fun to have you back in front of the camera to talk Stargate with me again.
Oh, absolutely. And it's also usually the chats are pretty self they take care of themselves, so to speak. So
Yeah,
it's an easy
I've
job for
noticed.
us moderators behind the scenes.
We haven't had a whole lot of turkeys
No.
try and take over the chat. Knock on wood. Guys, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here on a Friday. Anthony Rawlings in the house. Raj Luthra is in the house. I see Ibrex here. Bryce, welcome. Daniel Kolskar is here. She's A45. Lots of hey, we've been doing this long enough now. We've been doing this for what, 6 or 7 months consistently, that we have a good
No.
crew, a really great community of repeat viewers. Glad that you're all here, that you're part of the community. I'm feeling better. I think it's allergies, so I'm going to try not to cough too much. But I'm excited and nervous about the topic that we picked for today, which
I
is
know, me too.
best and worst episodes, right? Our favorite and our least favorite from every season of Stargate. This is
Yep.
gonna be fun. This is gonna be a hoot, and hopefully we won't get in trouble with anybody.
Let's incur some wrath around here.
Okay, live on the edge. This will be fun. But Jeff, how are things going for you? How are things over at Suns and Shadows?
Hey, doing pretty good. We're rolling along on season 7 of Stargate SG-1. We just did revisions in Lifeboat last night on our live stream and getting ready for some Stargate Atlantis, which will be starting up in August. And we're still debating on our format, but we're going to try something out for the month of August. And then
Okay,
um, we are actually going to start doing some videos. We want to do something a little different than everybody else is doing. We're not just Stargate. We like science fiction and horror, but we're going to kick off with some Stargate videos that I have some ideas on and some short documentaries for other shows that people might not remember, might have
excellent.
forgotten about,
Oh, I
or
love that
could
stuff.
use a refresher. So
Feels like half of my YouTube viewership is just forgotten shows from the 70s and 80s and 90s.
pretty much.
I love
We
that
need to get
stuff.
to more 70s stuff, more OG Battlestar.
Yeah, so okay, so I was born in 76, so I'm an 80s kid really. I came of age right watching Battlestar and Buck Rogers and some of the later 80s stuff. Um,
Yep.
but there's all this classic 70s sci-fi that I'm now like, okay, if I'm really going to call myself a fan of classic science fiction, like I need to go back and watch Space 1999. I need to go back and
Yep.
watch some of the stuff that was a little bit before my time.
Yep, things like Logan's Run, Space 99 is up on my shelf back here. I'm ready to bust that open. I have the Australian Blu-ray set from, I believe it was Imprint, and I'm ready to get into that a little bit because that also was canceled and had a short lifespan. I'm happy to just watch it on my own and then go from there.
Yeah, maybe we do a Space 1999 rewatch. Maybe we'll use
Ooh,
this
that'd be fun.
podcast to talk space. I don't even know if it's a good show, but I know it's a classic.
I heard people talk good about the first season, not so much about the second season, but I also have heard that about Buck
Okay.
Rogers, and I like both seasons.
Yeah, I
Although
like
that could
Bugger
be
again
revisionist memory going on
because I
here.
was a little kid at the time.
Yeah,
Like Hawkman in season 2 was my
dude,
favorite
right?
character. He was rad. He
Exactly.
was totally unlike, yeah. Okay, and Logan's Run is also on my watch list for sure.
Yep,
So
there's a
that's exciting.
miniseries and then the show.
Suns and Shadows is doing, you guys do 2 episodes a week. You live stream
Yep.
on Thursday nights. I recommend people go and check you out. There's a link to Suns and Shadows here on YouTube in the video description here, or just search for Suns and Shadows on YouTube to find these guys. And I think I'm on the calendar to be on your show here in the next few weeks. Remind me what episodes I'm watching. You know
Ooh.
offhand?
Yep, I have that on another tab here. You are coming
You're
back
into
up
season
for
7.
Evolution Part 1 and
Oh,
2.
yo, let's
June
go.
18th.
Yeah, mid-season 2-parter. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
And then what else do you guys do? You do the weekly Stargate rewatch show.
Yes.
And you guys cover other shows. You cover some horror.
Yep.
Remind me, do you have kind of regular weekly or bi-weekly podcasts that are not Stargate?
Yes, we do. So every Tuesday night we like to do some movies, and we you watch it at a time, and you tune in and share with the comments. But we go over like the good, the bad, and we kind of judge some of these movies. We just did Masters of the Universe, so we're not
Oh, the old
purely like
Dolph Lundgren.
horror or sci-fi. But hey, Frank Langella, Skeletor, Meg Foster as Evil Lynn, some of the good parts of that movie. But there's also some not so good parts
Are
about that
you
movie too.
looking forward to the new one?
I am. I have issues with some of the casting in there, but
Okay.
I'm going in. Basically, the good stuff I see and the not so good stuff I see are balanced out. So my expectations are at a dead level. So I'm going in and I hope it's good. And if it is, then maybe they will revisit the Voltron not going in theaters situation that's been developing. So
What did
that
they
would be
decide to
nice.
go straight to streaming with a live action Voltron movie?
Yes, they did. It was
Oh,
confirmed by IGN within the last few days or sometime this week.
oh,
And
I
it's
missed
just,
that.
I'm a huge Voltron nut. And so it's like,
Absolutely, yeah.
regardless of what I think of whether the movie will be good or not, I would still go to the movie to see it in theaters. It's my favorite cartoon as a kid. Why would I not go to the theater, regardless of what I think? I could always walk out being, that
Yeah.
was terrible, but man, that Voltron certainly looked cool.
Hey, Voltron, modern day CGI visual effects. Yeah, take my $15, even if it's a bad movie. You
Oh,
and I are
yeah.
definitely the same generation in what we grew up with and what we love.
Yeah, so Tuesdays is movie nights. That's what we do. Every other Friday, we like to go over some older TV shows where we do a rewatch. Then we do an episode breakdown and give thoughts and make comments about the show. We're doing DC's Birds of Prey from 2002, which oddly enough has some Stargate alumni
Oh,
in
does
there.
I watched it back in the day. I
Joe
felt like it was
Flanagan,
underrated. Who from
Joe
Stargate is on Birds of Prey?
So Stargate Atlantis, you got Joe Flanagan, and then I wrote down, oh God, who was the other person? Uh, it was
Uh,
Mini Jack O'Neill from Fragile
oh, Michael
Balance.
Welch? Right
Yep,
on.
Michael Welch was in there for
Oh man, he
about,
must have been like 11.
yeah, it was like 10 minutes of the episode. He definitely played like a teenager going into clubs, and he got to do a beat up scene. And I'm thinking, you know what? I think this was just a year before Stargate SG-1 doing Fragile Balance,
Wow.
because he looked a little younger and he had a little more blonder hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that voice. I know that. Oh my God, it's him.
Maybe after Star Trek Insurrection though.
Yep.
That would have been that era. Yeah, that was when DC was trying to figure out live action DC television before the Berlantiverse, right? Before Arrow became a hit.
Yes. Yep. And this was around the time that Batman Begins was about to enter production. So one of the reasons they killed Birds of Prey was they didn't want market confusion on Batman in the Bat universe. And the ratings were dwindling sharply too. So there was a few different situations happening at the same time. But
Yeah, it's tough to get those characters right, but I thought the show did a
yeah,
good job.
I enjoyed the show. It definitely had its issues though.
Yeah, that feels like that was the same generation as like Jessica Alba's breakout on Dark Angel.
Yep.
Similar
Dark
kind of
Angel.
dark, female power fighting criminals at night in the streets of Vancouver, kind of a city, kind of a
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, a lot of shows are trying to get that angle and figure out, hey, how can we make this work for us?
Yeah.
And so that's
Cheesy45
what
just
we
saw
do.
David Blue on an episode of Castle. I need to get back and start watching Castle again. I watched Castle when it first started.
I think I only watched the first season of that and I
Yeah,
never
I don't
got
know if I
back to
made
it.
this season, but I fell off it. I've been watching Shrinking. I just finished Shrinking. They're coming out with a fourth season. Karen Gillan was just announced from Doctor Who. Marvel, Guardians of the
Oh,
Galaxy was just announced
okay.
for Shrinking season 4. And we just finished the newest season of Foundation, which I think is a good show. I don't think it's a good adaptation of Asimov,
Oh,
but it's a
okay.
good show. It's entertaining. And it's a well performed, well told story. What have you been watching that's new right now?
Well, my wife got me to watch Bridgerton. So that's not really science fiction, but we
Did you
finished up
like the
season.
experience?
It was all right. I didn't mind it. I actually some storylines are pretty okay. Some were a bit goofy, weird casting decisions notwithstanding. But hey, if you want to watch something with your spouse and that's something that's on their list, most of us can get through it. It's not terrible. It's not the
Good.
most offensive thing ever seen. But otherwise, new stuff. I have started Spider Noir, and after the
Ooh,
first episode, I kind of dig it, but I'm
that
not
just
going to
came
pass
out.
judgment until I'm done with it. So,
Yeah, Spider Noir with Nicolas Cage just came out.
yep.
I haven't checked it out yet. Are you watching the colorized version or the black and white version?
Black and white. I'm a big noir fan. Behind me on one of my shelves back here is a bunch of film noir movies from Kino Lorber, who put out a
Nice.
bunch of awesome sets for noir movies.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of what I'm feeling is I'm gonna start with black and white and see how it
Yep.
goes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
From what I understand, the color version's fine, but if you want the total experience, black and white's the way to go because they did intend for it to be shot in black and white anyway.
Yeah. And you know, we grew up with black and white versions of The Wizard of Oz and It's a Wonderful Life. So
Wild Wild West,
when we see
Batman
colorized versions of
66.
these movies on streaming service, it just
Yeah.
happened the other day. We were flipping through a streaming service and my wife said, they colorized It's a Wonderful Life? That's horrible.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Of course they did. They did, yeah,
Yeah.
decades ago. All right, guys, we are hanging out talking Stargate, and it's casual Friday around here at Gate World. So put your thoughts in the chat as we go through our lists. We want to hear your favorite episodes from each season, your least favorite episodes from each season. I'm curious before we get into this, Jeff, when you have a least favorite episode of a show like Stargate SG-1 or Stargate Atlantis, do you skip it? Or do you actually, when you do
Generally,
your rewatch, you make sure to watch the Emancipations and everything else?
Generally, when I do a rewatch, even if it's an episode I don't like, I will still play it. Does not mean it's going to get my full attention though, because just about even the episodes I like the least, there's still something of value to them, whether it's a moment, cool character element, or hey, CGI space battle is really cool, or something in there usually grabs me. I don't hate any of these episodes that we're going to
Yeah,
discuss. I just kind of threw a little bit on the I don't think that needs my attention completely, so I can do other stuff. That's how I
that's,
divvy that up. But I don't skip anything on a rewatch of any show.
yeah. I think I don't either. I'm trying to think of any episode that I find so unappealing that I would actually skip it. And in Stargate, there aren't any.
Right.
Everything that we're talking about here right now, there are other shows where there are episodes I find atrocious and will never subject myself to again, but not in
Or
Stargate.
roll your eyes and be like, the laundry's not done yet. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, or right, if you want to give them some Amazon viewership points, then you put it on in the background,
Exactly.
mute the TV and walk out of the room.
Yep.
This is okay, this is a great place for us to start, which is uh context, right? We're talking about Stargate here and we love Stargate. So what I would consider to be the worst episode of a season of Stargate is still, relatively speaking, right? Relative, especially to shows I don't like. It's a great hour, great way to spend an hour. I will watch these episodes over and over again on repeat. So I want us to go into talking about our favorite and our least favorite. Like, we're not here to dump on these episodes
Yeah.
or the people who worked very hard to bring them about, the writers, the directors, the performers. These guys are working hard week in and week out to make 20, 22, sometimes 40 hours of television in a year. And not all of them are going to be winners. So we're not here to criticize. We're here
No.
to be fans and, right, we're providing a little ranking. It's all personal opinion. You guys have your
Correct.
opinions and we want to hear them in the comments. We want to hear them in the chat. Because we're going to not like some episodes that you love, I promise you. And we're going to cheer episodes that you think are absolutely flat. That's okay. We are a big, loving fandom. So we got our list here. I'm going to try and fill this out as we go along. This is going to get really full. I want to take turns with our favorite episode from the season, and then we'll take turns with our least favorite episode from that season. And to remind us all and keep us honest, here I got Gateworld's episode guide. If you guys want to play along at home, just go to gateworld.net. And here, I haven't spent time yet introducing our new site, but we just rolled out a new theme, a new template. This is all fresh and clean and new, and it works on mobile like never before, except the Omnipedia. It works on mobile, but I haven't implemented the new template on the Omnipedia yet. Oh, and you know what? As of this morning, the forum has also been upgraded to vBulletin 6
Ooh,
with
there
our
you go.
with our shiny new template. I got to fix a couple things. I haven't done my chores for the day, fixing things. But yeah, go here to SG-1 and into episodes. We're going to go one season at a time. So this is a little different, right? My 10 favorite episodes of Stargate SG-1 is going to be a little bit of a different list than my one favorite from each individual season. That makes sense? You're tracking with me?
Yeah.
So we're going to pick one. We're going to go into a season. We're going to pick one. One for Jeff, one for me. And then we're going to pick our least favorite. One each. Just that season. Okay, season 1. Where do you want to start?
Oh, for me, I'm probably this might seem like the easy one for some people, not so easy for others. I'm gonna go to Torment of Tantalus.
Oh my goodness.
I
Coming
think
out
that's a
swinging.
fantastic. Yeah, I think it's
Where
a
is
great freaking
Emancipation?
episode, and it breaks lore for movie fans. And I'm still like, you know what? I don't care. It's not really lore. We didn't know about it.
The Torment of Tantalus. Okay, it breaks lore for movie fans in the sense that they opened the Stargate in 1945.
Right. And that Ernest is still out there, and we haven't gone to go find him. So, but it's a very touching episode, Catherine being there, and then their interactions, and also setting up the ancients and all the big races coming up. So it's big lore building here.
I thought you would pick this as your worst episode of the season. We were about to have words, but no, I realize I asked you to do your best one first. That
Yep.
makes so much more sense to me.
Yeah.
Torment of Tantalus. Outstanding choice for favorite episode. Okay, I got to get my list open here. For some of these, no contest. I know exactly where I'm going for a lot of seasons for my favorite episode. Some of them I'm going to mix up a little. And you know what? Torment of Tantalus is excellent. For my favorite episode of season 1 as of today, I'm going to go with Within the Serpent's Grasp,
Oh, there you go.
which is the season finale.
Yep. Great cliffhanger.
Great cliffhanger, right? This had been set up by um, the 2 episodes previous, right? There But for the Grace of God, with Daniel's big, they're coming, they're coming. We know Apophis warship is headed to Earth. Then we get the politics interlude with the gate program shut down with Kinsey. And then finally the big season finale. After all this time of going through the gate and following orders, SG-1 has to, get on their Black Ops gear and defy orders. Sneak through the Stargate to try and save. That's a
Oh yeah.
great first season finale. Like, this all comes to a head. The whole reason the Stargate program exists is to protect Earth against the Goa'uld. Guess what? The Goa'uld have shown up and are knocking at our door because we're out there kicking over their playthings.
Yeah. And awesome, like good comedy, good action. And you feel the threat of like Apophis and Chlorel, especially Chlorel's first appearance. It's like, oh no, they're both here. Things are about to gear up.
Yeah, we get Chlorel front and center, right? The whole Skara storyline is everything. Is Skara
Oh yeah.
still in there? Does anything remain of the host? Those questions are active in everybody's minds. And then we get that pullback cliffhanger finale. We're about to blow up Chlorel's ship, sacrifice ourselves. Guess what? It's not going to be enough because there's a second
Nope.
ship.
And we're 90% sure they die.
Okay, what's your least favorite from season 1?
All right. It's not Emancipation, everybody. I'm gonna tell you that right
Oh,
now.
okay.
It's actually Cold Lazarus.
Old
Now,
Lazarus. All right.
I like the story and I love the design of the planet, the yellow planet with the blue crystals. Just ultimately, I wasn't feeling it largely because of Jack having to deal with like the loss of his son yet again. But I also think it was an important episode. They had to wrap that up and just move on from it. Um, I mean, we had enough in the movie, and it clearly enough as time has passed, but they want to bring up the audience and up to speed and the brand new viewers on television. Like, you gotta bring it up at some point. But it was also my very first episode I ever watched, and I wasn't a fan of it.
Oh,
And it
really?
actually turned me off from Stargate SG-1 for a few years
Oh, funny. It
until
was
I got,
years before you came back?
yep, because it was like
Wow.
free Showtime weekend. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check out Stargate. I've heard about it. This looks cool. I watched this episode and I thought, okay, that was weird. This isn't kind of the show I thought it was, and that was my first impression. And it actually hurt me until about season 4 when I came back around
Wow, that
and
is a
got
long
turned on to
time.
it.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that if that was your first impression of the show. It's pretty different from the movie. It's
Yeah.
the criticism that I have of this episode is I guess a common one, which is that all the angst and all the catharsis that
Yeah.
alien Jack goes through, the blue crystal copy that he goes through and sort of figuring out what's going on and reuniting with Sarah and feeling the grief of Charlie's loss.
Right.
That's not the real Jack. That's not our main character. So then Jack shows
Right.
up at the end, and I don't know what has Jack actually learned and processed through that experience.
Yeah. The
Like he's
actual Jack's just like, yeah, he might have known what I was thinking and my feelings, but he has no idea how I processed it and made peace with whatever happened and how he's moved on from his life.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's kind of it feels like us on the one hand a story that needed to be done early in the show
Yeah.
to close off Jack's past and help him move forward as a character, but also it kind of feels like the character's already done that. That was
Yeah.
part of the story of the end of the movie, the start of Children of the Gods.
Correct.
He's a year further down the road and seems to be in a better place.
Yeah.
All right, we could talk about this all day. Guys, what do you think of season 1 before we're moving on here? Uh, Anthony Rawlings says Torment of Tantalus is his favorite as well, closely followed by Cold Lazarus. My worst episode, Anthony says, is Brief Candle. I can see the criticism for Brief Candle.
I can see that too.
Yeah. Old age makeup, not great.
The
The
hips are acting up again. Yeah.
the conceit of the rapidly aging and the wedding cake and the sexy dancing. It was all kind of the show is figuring out what its voice was.
I did like Bobby Phillips in it.
Bobby
Nothing
Phillips is
wrong with
great.
that. Yep.
Yeah, she played the love interest. Okay, season two. Season two, the show is starting to grow its beard. What is your favorite episode?
Of season 2, I'm going to go with A Matter of Time.
Excellent episode.
Love that one.
This is one of those that if I just want to hit random on my player, I will watch this any day of the week. What do you love about A Matter of Time?
Trying to pull up my tab here. I have my notes. Where'd they go?
Let's see. We're going to season 2, episode 16.
I did a spreadsheet, everybody, so I'm trying to like navigate it here. When it
This is the
was
black hole
when...
episode. This is
Yep,
the
the black
time
hole episode.
dilation.
Yeah, so ultimately, okay, there's my notes. So with this one, I really like the whole idea of, hey, we don't know what happens with the Stargate when this happens or that happens. I like it when we find out how long 38 minutes lasts. I like the idea that, wait, this is breaking that. This is continuing. Uh-oh, what's going on? And also the ultimate suspension of those poor people, that poor SGC team being stuck on that planet, and Jack pointing out later on in the episode, you see the look on their faces, that is death, knowing that they are not coming home and it's going to take them forever to
Yeah.
experience the end of their lives. Like,
Yeah.
that is horrific. But what really stands out for me is just the whole concept. And this is also used again later on throughout the whole course of SG-1. Like, this is a nasty planet. You do not dial this gate because it is still able to be accessed. And I like how that comes back around multiple times. But I also like Jack has to deal with a friend from the past that he has issues with, and they both agree that they are not nearly as smart as Carter is and don't pretend to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. This I love exactly as you said, the way that this episode continues to be important because of the time dilation. That planet is being ripped apart over the course of years and years as it spirals into the event horizon of the black hole. So we get to redial it later, right? When we want to blow up a star at the end of season 4, we dial P3W451.
Or we attach a supergate to it in season, is it 9 or is it 10? I think it's season 10 to dial out. And so they hop the gates between the galaxies by using that.
Okay. Let's see. Totally Fair Critique of Cold Lazarus from season 1 says Demomorph was their least favorite for Darren. I skipped it, didn't I? Okay, you guys are keeping me
Oh,
honest. That's why you're here. My least favorite from season 1. Let's see what's on the list. Okay, Emancipation. Probably most
fair.
people's least favorite episode of the show. And I want to say, I think Emancipation, well, I wouldn't go so far as to say Emancipation gets a bad rap. I think the criticisms of it are by and large completely justified. But I do want to say, I think Emancipation has some nice moments to it. There are
Yeah,
some
it does.
there are some nice beats, right? They're feeling out the team dynamic, the team going off world together for the first time, at least the first time since Chulok. Um, the stuff with Carter, right? I appreciate that the Catherine Powers as the writer was attempting to write a female empowerment story, was attempting to center Carter as not just the girl, but as empowered. How the script worked out, not so great, but the episode has its strengths.
Well, and you also get the early banter of Daniel and Jack and Teal'c, especially when she gets into her very first dress to work with it. And you start to get a clip of, wow, they all got some really good chemistry and humor together. I
Yeah,
think this is going to work out for a
yeah.
show.
Figuring out some of that early banter. I'm trying to remember if the walk away towards the gate at the end of was at the end of this episode where we get what is an Oprah.
I think
That
it is
might
this one.
it might have been this one. I'm trying to yeah. Okay. On to season 2. Everybody knows this who's been watching Gate World for any length of time. The fifth race was my favorite episode for many, many years until it was
Great episode.
unseated by something we're going to talk about later. It's the
Fantastic episode.
perfect team episode. It is the
Yeah, oh
perfect
yeah.
team episode. It is the ancients. It is lore. It is discovering something that is way beyond us. It is meaning of life stuff, tying back into the torment of Tantalus. It is our first face-to-face meeting with the Asgard. Right? We
Yes.
had a face-to-face with Thor's hologram, but this is the first time we've been in the same room with them when Jack goes to the other galaxy. It's, I mean, what's not to love? Sam and Teal'c are trapped on another planet. The DHD's broken. They can't get home. Jack's the one who comes up with a way to repair the DHD and rescue them. Daniel's at the SGC trying to help translate for Jack when he's losing the Philatus to speak properly.
Coming up
I
with words.
love this episode so much. This episode is Stargate SG-1 to me.
Oh, absolutely. It is basically one of my, okay, if we're doing top 10 across the entire show, fifth race is definitely on there. It's just for the purpose of this season, I think Matter of Time always strikes me as the best of the season.
It's such a
But
strong episode, both of them, and the fact that they're back to back, right? These are
yeah,
even
this is
back to
when
back
the
weeks.
writing is really getting dialed in on the show. It's like, okay, I think
Yeah.
they figured out what they like here.
Yeah, this is right. We say growing a beard. This is when the show, the writers have figured out the beats, the characters, their voices, the storylines. This here, where we get into the back half of the season after the Tok'ra two-parter,
Yep.
fifth race, a matter of time, holiday, serpent song, one false step. Somebody mentioned earlier is one of their least favorite. Okay, but then we get the Ritu in show and tell. We get 1969, which is a strong contender for best of the season.
Yep.
Uh, End of the season is just banger after banger.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, it starts off with like several awesome episodes as well. It's like, wow. You're coming out firing. I like it.
Yeah, chat, what do we think? What do we think about season 2? Cheesy45 says, I really like all the episodes. It's hard to pick just one. I really like Bane because Teal'c forms that friendship with the little girl and she essentially saves his life.
Yep.
Bane has some great Teal'c beats. And season 2 we needed Teal'c to be fleshed out, right? He got some
Oh yeah.
some standout moments like Core in season 1, but Teal'c was still being fleshed out as a three-dimensional character.
Well, we needed the human beats of him, not the Jaffa beats. We had to get past the family. We had to get past all of the Chulak stuff. We've already been introduced to Braytak. We had to get him familiar with humanity and the world outside the SGC.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, your least favorite of season 2?
Need. I don't like Daniel as a junkie.
Need. Daniel is a drug addict, is a sarcophagus junkie. Tell
Yep.
us
And
about
also,
Need.
oh, go ahead.
Also what?
Oh, I was gonna just say, like, also the implications of what the princess does with him, and he gets drugged in the sarcophagus, and she wants him to be his her mate, so to speak, and that made me is a little cringy
Yeah,
when you
there's
think about it back in
maybe
time.
something
Like,
going on
yep,
between the scenes, off
yep,
camera.
little nefarious. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little funny, Daniel being a little junkie-ish with Jack, and everybody he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna save you guys. I'm getting there. I have a plan. I'm working on it." And so every time after this, Daniel says he has a plan, no matter what season. I automatically go back to this, and I'm like, "No, you don't."
Yeah, we remember how your plans turn out. Your plans,
So
Dr.
there's
Jackson.
a little bit of goodness to it, but overall, I wasn't a big fan of Daniel as a junkie sort of deal.
Yeah, this is my least favorite of the season as well. Again, there's good things in this episode. The exploring the sarcophagus, the fact that the sarcophagus does this to people, that it
Right.
has this negative effect, it answers a giant question, which is why don't we just capture one and keep it?
Yep.
We still, when we talk about character deaths in the future of the show, it still comes up, right? Isn't it worth it to keep a sarcophagus just in those most extreme circumstances?
Yep.
It's an
And we get
interesting
multiple
question,
chances
but need is
throughout.
the writers that the answer that the writers give to that question is need. The
Yeah.
sarcophagus screws you up. It's part of why the Goa'uld are so evil.
Right.
All right, chat. What do you think of season 2 of SG-1? Hannah HK's here says One False Step was a great Jack Daniel episode. I would not disagree with that. The Jack Daniel dynamic and they're fighting right under the influence of what they're going through. They're butting heads in One False Step is a highlight.
And Daniel's totally goofy when he does the airplane for the the alien species. It cracks me up every time.
Yeah, communicating with the aliens. Those I think Brad Wright mentions this episode as one that he feels like ended up a little ridiculous, right? Getting these Cirque du Soleil or whatever
Oh,
camp of
yeah.
performers they were in these leotards, full body painted out in the middle of the freezing Vancouver weather. It must have been an ordeal. I think as an alien species they work, right?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
really different than anybody else that we've encountered. A
Right. And
symbiotic relationship with the plants. I think it works.
yeah, the communication breakdown, that's what Daniel does best is doing archaeological stuff and also trying to communicate with a new species.
Cheesy45 says, I love show and tell. I love the catharsis of Jack's relationship with the little boy who helps him move past his loss of Charlie. That probably does as much or more for Jack,
Yeah.
sort of with his past, right? Having this little boy who has sort of immediately adopts him as a father figure and asks if he could be called Charlie, which is Jack's son's name. That does as much or more, I think, for the character than Cold Lazarus did.
Yeah.
Sheezy45, politics, because Kinsey is just so annoying. Now, I had this temptation. I don't know about you, but when I was going through the seasons, there's always a temptation to just dump on the clip shows as the worst. But I
I
think
purposely kick those out from options for me because
I
there's
tried to
always
avoid it.
some good stuff in there.
I tried to avoid it because Stargate does clip shows really well.
Yeah.
By and large, with few exceptions, they're always advancing the plot in some really significant way.
Right. And who
Uh,
doesn't love Ronnie Cox as Kinsey? Come on.
and Ronnie Cox is perfectly cast
Yep.
as the bullheaded senator. Raj Luthra says the first commandment and demons are not my favorites. Okay, demons is coming up in season 3. First commandment is a season 1 episode.
Yep.
That was with Carter's former fiance going native.
The dad from Boy Meets World, and it also had Roger Cross from First Wave and 24 in there.
That's right. He's a first wave guy, isn't he?
Yep.
Okay, are we ready to press forward? Season 3. Season 3 is when I truly fell in love with the show.
Agreed.
Started watching in season 2. I went back and caught up on season 1 in syndication repeats. But season 3 is when the show, I think, finally, became my show. What's your favorite?
I'm gonna probably a little bit on the predictable side, but Jolinar's Memories.
Okay.
And the I'm sorry, to tie it in with The Devil You Know, it's a great two-parter, but I think the first one sets up a great thing with Sokar going on and like the reveal of Neonak. So, well, they save it towards the very end. I wish they had fixed the credits a little bit so people didn't really know who Neonak was at the
Oh,
beginning of
they
the
did. Yeah,
episode.
they did the credits thing. They delayed Peter Williams' on-screen credit until the end.
I didn't think they did.
Yeah,
I
I
thought it was
remember
a
being
main.
amazed at the time.
Oh, okay. Or yeah. But that being said, awesome, solid story. You got Jacob, who's hurt. You got Martouf, and you also have like Carter, who's like, "It's my dad. We got to go help them." And it's a great setup, and we get to see Sokar in his element, brand new evil Gould, and the world he possesses. Set design and costuming is amazing. We get to see this in play for the next few seasons, and I just honestly, I love the story, and everybody gets a chance to show off what they can do in here. Now, you might feel like Daniel doesn't get too much to do in this. I think he does just enough. It's not really his story. This is more between Carter, Sokar, Neonak, Apophis, otherwise, and just what all is going on in this crazy little
Yeah,
world. And matte paintings are stunning here.
they're
So they
gorgeous. Yeah,
definitely a highlight.
the map paintings, as you said, the production design really stand out for
Oh yeah.
Natu, the Sokar's hellish moon. And so many great one-liners, right? To hell with us.
Yep.
And Jack saying to right when Martouf is kind of nagging Carter a bit on the way and saying, "Hey, we got to remember how Jolinar escaped from this with the little Tok'ra
Right.
memory recall device, and if we don't figure it out, then you guys are not going down with me because I don't know if I'm coming back." And Jack corners Martouf and says, "It's her father. She knows the stakes."
Right. We don't you don't have to keep browbeating her, man. Let's
Yeah.
go.
And you're right. I think it's appropriate that Daniel ends up sort of with the role that he has in this story because it's not a discover new worlds, meet new cultures, archaeological
Right.
exploration story. It's a rescue op.
Yeah.
So it's kind
There's
of a
no time
Jack
for love, Dr.
and
Jones.
Sam mission. And then Teal Grant in part 2 gets the amazing side quest of going
Yes.
back to the Tok'ra, and we get the introduction of Aldwin.
Yes.
Uh Demomorph 7672 says Touchstone is awesome for the emergence of shady earth elements that we hadn't really thought about before. Yeah, that
Oh
season
yeah.
2 episode is when the Rogue NID really get going.
That was a Jonathan Glassner idea, right? If I remember right.
For Touchstone, the Rogue NID, I don't know the answer to that.
I seem to remember something from long ago, like Jonathan was very big into the shady earth elements.
Could be.
But I might be wrong. Please correct me if I was wrong.
Yeah, Shizzy45 for season 3 says Learning Curve and Foothold were two of the standouts for me. Demons, not so much. I didn't really like bad guys, and the bad guy was a monster. So Demons has the Unas.
Yeah.
But let's see. Where are
And
we
I
at
love
here?
Foothold, everybody, so don't get me wrong.
Foothold's great. Yeah. Foothold is another one of those great standalone. Boy, I wish they would have gone back and revisited sort of
That's my number one
stories.
go-to every time somebody asks me that.
Yeah.
Foothold.
My favorite in season 3, I love Jolinar's Memories and The Devil You Know, but I went with Fair Game.
There you go.
Fair Game, third episode, System Lords are coming for dinner. Uh, Fair
Coming
Game
for dinner.
is I don't know, it's one of those things again tying back to the first season finale with Apophis attack. The second season, Apophis is back on his heels. Then we think he's dead. He is dead. Um, and then the System Lords show up and say, okay, you blew up 2 motherships and knocked off a System Lord. We
Yep.
are ready to talk. So we learn a lot more about the System Lords. We're introduced to you and Nirti and Cronus, who continue to be 3 of my favorite all-time favorite System Lords. With a little backstabbing, a little subterfuge, a little alien tech. Jacob shows up at the end with the invisibility guns, the TERs.
Oh yeah.
Great episode.
Oh, and Mirti with the baggage that she comes with, everything she did with Cassie and her planet and everything that's about to happen with
Yeah.
Mirti.
Yeah, the 3 of them show up and we're like, okay, we're going to put them in our VIP quarters. Everybody be cool. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure Nirti was the one who wiped out Cassie's planet, the Hunkins.
Yep,
Oh, and by the way, Cronus murdered Teal'c's father. So there's that.
exactly. It's like,
But
oh,
everybody
this
play
is
it
a
cool.
recipe. Yeah,
And Jack's the one then who offends them in their first
of
sit
all
down
people.
with his protocol violations. I thought we were all going to speak English here.
That's it. We're out of here.
Yeah,
We
we
need
get
written apologies and everything else.
Thor visiting Earth. Jack first gets beamed up, which is, you know, a little foreshadowing for the season finale and Nemesis, but
Yep.
Jack gets beamed up to Thor's ship for a conversation without warning. And we get a little rough early CG shot of Thor, the
Yeah.
non-puppet Thor, when he stands up out of his chair and I think gives the communication stone
Right.
to Jack. That's an early CGI shot. Dan Ben 07 says top favorites of season 3: Into the Fire, Fair Game, Point of
There you
View,
go.
Foothold, Pretense, New Ground. We're gonna have to talk about New Ground. But yeah, that demonstrates season 3 is full of bangers. Season 3 is a lot of standout individual stories, right? Learning Curve. I can watch Learning Curve any day of the week
Oh yeah.
with Marin. Anthony Rawlings
Ergo is
says
one I
for
could watch
me,
all the time.
Ergo is, yeah. Yeah, and we were talking about this before the show. A lot of the comedic episodes took a while to grow on me. I didn't love Ergo when it premiered, but now I love it. Anthony Rawlings says, for me, New Ground is my least favorite. It just dead ends. Okay, let's talk least favorites for season 1. I'm not season 1, season 3. Whatever season we're on, what's your least favorite?
Okay. On this one, I'm gonna go with Demons to be fair.
Demons,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I like Teal'c going into the lake and being able to survive and hold his breath for a long period of time, but overall, I for some reason I just wasn't feeling this kind of episode. I mean, I know they really didn't get into Christianity or faith all
Right.
that terribly much, but it just felt out of place for this one.
Mm.
And I'm not knocking the writers, it just or the finished product. I wasn't feeling this one, and everybody seemed to feel a bit disjointed in this one. And your big bad enemy, the priest, he it's like you saw that one coming a little bit, and the Unos. I
Yeah,
mean,
why don't you twirl your
that was cool.
mustache for us a few more times?
Yeah, a little bit. So it felt a little overplayed a little bit. So I wasn't feeling that one. I don't hate it, and it's one of those I'll do some other stuff while that's playing and tune in for the fun parts that are in the episode.
Yeah, I could see that. Demons is not one of my favorites. It's not in the top half of the season for me. I think the idea is most of the way there.
Yeah.
Um, the execution of it's really good. I think the casting in Demons is really good. Um, I think that the production design, right? We get the
Oh
muddy
yeah.
outside village and
Yeah.
the Unos character redesign after the Unos first appeared in season 1.
Right.
Really strong, really interesting to think of the Unos as they were Gould hosts before the Gould found humans. But
Correct.
now here is an Unos with a symbiote in it, a Goulded Unos who is in the service of a powerful Goa'uld in Sokar.
Right.
That was an
One of
interesting
his
new dynamic.
tenants. Yep. So, I mean, they definitely had some good parts. It just didn't really click with me.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
get that.
one of those things.
I love Simon's prayer at the end when the
Yep.
canon dies, the priest. He has the prayer for suffering souls. I think that was quite lovely.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Ashen Prism says Ergo was great. Lord Thoth says, Hail Jeff. What's that all about?
Oh, just a thing from other communities we hang out in. So it's just a greeting of hello.
Good. Oh, hail, yeah, hail Jeff, not
Yep. Hey.
hail Jeff.
I don't have my Goa'uld modulator voice working right now.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Ashen Prism also says, always enjoyed Crystal Skull. Whatever happened to Daniel's grandfather? Yeah, one of those big
Oh,
plot lines that was dropped, and it feels like somebody should mention him at some point, even
he
if we
is
don't get a,
mentioned
a sequel episode.
once more, but it's mostly because of his other passion. I forgot what the episode was. I think it's like season 6 that they talk about Nicholas Ballard, or is it season 7
It
or 8?
might be actually it might be an evolution in
Yeah,
season
it
7.
might be
Yeah. Was
because it's
he
about the
was Nicholas interested in the Fountain of
yeah,
Youth mythology?
yeah, yeah, that's what it is. And
Okay.
they're like, that was his first passion, but he gave up on that and he went on over to the Crystal Skull stuff. So that's like the last time we ever heard anything about
Yeah.
Nicholas Ballard.
Yeah, come on, give us a couple extra lines. How's old Nick doing? We checked in with him last month. He's living his best life.
He's
Just
doing
give us
good.
a little more dialogue.
Sipping Mai Tais with the Crystal Skull
Sipping Mai
aliens.
Tais with, yeah. That's a Quetzalcoatl. My least favorite season 3 episode, it's already been mentioned. It's New Ground.
Yeah, I see that.
I think this is an episode that, again, the idea is maybe halfway there, maybe 3/4 of the way there.
I'd agree with that.
It's interesting that this is the first time we find a planet where there are clearly two factions. They're at war with each other. The Stargate is obviously located in one of their territories. And SG-1 ends up in a situation where activating the gate, coming through it from another planet, feeds into the Bedrosians' enemies' account of how they came about, right? Their mythology, their explanation for the universe.
Yeah.
So they cannot allow them, as religious fanatics, they cannot allow this to be true. It's interesting. It's halfway there. We get the stuff. Teal'c loses his eyesight, right? He gets kind of shot in the face and meets Neum from the Bedrosians with the little eye healer device in the cave. And then it's just kind of we got to rescue our guys and get to the gate before we get shot.
Yep, and Neem, you're coming with us, bro. And you're gonna
Yeah.
be Daniel's assistant, and we're never gonna see you ever
I'm
again.
never going to mention you again. Yeah. I remember those early days of fandom, right? When we were in season 5 and every other day it's like, where's Daniel's grandfather? What's Neum doing right now?
There's a few characters. At least they kept Cassie coming back every so often just to
Yeah.
remind people of that.
Yeah. She still exists. She
Yeah.
was, I think, officially, formally adopted by Janet,
I believe so, yeah.
which we'll see eventually in season 5 when she comes back.
Yeah.
Dan Ben says Maternal Instinct I liked. That was a contender for my top
Oh,
pick.
yep.
Maternal Instinct with the introduction of Oma Dasala and the Ascended Beings. Lord Thoth agrees New Ground is the worst. Any other thoughts, chat, about season 3 before we move on? Ashen Prism watching Maternal Instinct for the first time was huge. That was Daniel's reason for being, right? It was first to rescue Sharae, and then after Sharae was offed, in this season, in season 3, it
Oh,
was to
yeah.
find the child. And that was kind of an ongoing storyline for several episodes.
Had
But
to
then
give
we
him a new
got to the
mission and
point where
direction.
we found the child, and the child is better off where he is in Oma's care.
Yeah, we'll get to that in like season 4 a little bit.
Yeah, I love Fair Game. I love Jolinar's Memories, but boy, the season
Yeah.
finale, Nemesis, is so strong from wall to wall.
Oof,
It is
beautiful.
hard to not pick that. Lockwatcher says, unlike Star Trek The Next Generation, the cast of Stargate seemed like they were already connected day one. They seemed to know their characters so well. Yeah, you go back, you watch the show for 10 years, and you go back and watch early season one, and there are the same characters. The performers knew who they were. They hadn't been fleshed out fully yet.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready for season 4? Let's keep this train rolling.
Yeah. Okay. For season 4, my best is going to be Upgrades.
Upgrades. Great episode.
I know people are probably like thinking, what, not Window of Opportunity? No, I love that episode by itself. On the
Uh-huh.
whole, Upgrades is outstanding because everybody, and I mean everybody, gets a fantastic moment in this, and it plays off in further episodes coming up very, very shortly. Like, you got the truth telling machine that's gonna about to come up and determine if people are lying, what they're hiding. That's going to get introduced, and
Yeah, the events of this episode are very important to Divide and Conquer.
yep. And then they carry forward with beats for the characters that they'll remember for a very long time. And unfortunately, this is one of the last few we'll see Vanessa Angel in, but I think she was stellar in this episode.
Yeah,
And just
Anise.
overall, the sense of fun in this and actual real, like, what would they do if they had powers? They actually go and do it. It's like super funny. My favorite scene is in the steakhouse, though. Oh, I'll order 4 steaks, and oh, that's just for me. Oh yeah, I'll do 4 steaks too and a Diet Coke. Oh,
Yeah.
girl's
3,
got to
4,
maintain her
4.
figure. 4. Yeah.
Yeah, and a Diet Coke. I like the taste better.
Yep.
That's great.
So
This episode has everything.
yeah,
Let me just double check my notes here.
great blend
This
on
is my
that.
favorite. Other than Window of Opportunity, I think I'm spotting Window of Opportunity. We all acknowledge that it is one of the greatest of all time.
Oh yes.
But I also went with Upgrades
Hey, all right.
because I love this so much. I will watch this all the time. I will watch
Yeah,
this
I'll do
on
repeat on
repeat.
this.
Yeah, it's when we talk about funny episodes, right? There are comedic episodes of the show. There's your Ergos, there's your Wormhole Extremes, there's your 200s.
Yep.
Upgrades is classic. Upgrades is Stargate funny, by which I mean it's
Correct.
pure Richard Dean Anderson, dry, sardonic, quippy. That's the humor that I love in Stargate, and it's in Upgrades in spades.
So you have the strength of 10 men. Oh, so no change.
Oh, then no increase. Yeah, that's one of my favorite lines. That's Jack O'Neill to me. Yeah, and he
Jackisms.
throws the trash across the room in the trash bin. It says
Sweet.
3. Just those subtle little Rick beats, or also whoever wrote the episode. Let's look. This is a David Rich wrote the teleplay for Upgrades.
Good job. And Daniel, I can read really fast.
Right? As an academic, I'm like, yeah, that's the superpower I want. Like, yeah, strength, speed, okay,
Yeah.
maybe fly, be invisible, sure. I want to be able to read really fast and then write faster than my computer buffer can keep up.
Oh, Carter, that was fantastic. She's like, I'm finally writing the papers I've been wanting to write for forever.
Yeah, the book's been in her head, and now she finally has a chance to get it out. She types and
Oh.
then has to take a snack break and wait for the computer to catch up.
I crack
Oh,
up
we'll
every
need
time with
snacks.
that.
That's, yeah, all time one of my most quoted lines,
I
especially on road
actually use
trips.
that on my reshare on Twitter
I saw
for the
that.
GIF.
We'll need snacks. Perfect SG-1 line.
Mm.
That and in Serpent's Venom in season 4, when they're in the conference room scene at the beginning, and Jacob's talking about we need Sam for the scientific, we need Daniel to help translate this, and Jack is always a lot of fun to have around too.
I'll bring the snacks.
All right. Demomorph That's a call. Upgrades over 2010 or window of opportunity, hardcore fandom right there. 2010's another stellar standout. Hannah HK
Love
says
that one.
Tangent. Love Tangent. See, now we're in my
Yep.
favorite seasons of the show. 3, 4, and
Oh
5.
yes, it's really hard to narrow down.
Yeah, the top 3 list would have been much easier.
Yeah.
Ashen Prism says Double Jeopardy. Great callback to Tin Man. We
Oh
follow up on
yes.
Harlan and the robot SG-1.
Come try ya.
How about is there any pick, right? So for a great season of Stargate, it's tough for me to pick my least favorite episode because that means the episode is just good, just
Right.
really excellent. What is your least favorite for season 4?
I'm gonna go with the light. Hate to do it, but as beautiful as the effects were and the design again on that one didn't just jive with me. Like the kid being stranded there for how long and he had to bury his family. Like it's a terrible tragedy, but it's another kind of druggy episode where everybody's under the influence. And unfortunately, Jack's got to snap some sense into just about everybody in this one. It's like
Yeah.
he totally knows. I kept waiting for a line. This reminds me of something from the 70s, but that's a different episode he said that in. So,
It's exactly it's a junky episode and it's important and it's interesting and it gives us some good character beats.
exactly.
But I'm left right after about 20 minutes, I'm left just reaching into the screen, trying to shake the characters, saying, move on. We get it.
Yeah.
Shake, snap out of it.
Yeah, it just felt like the plot like moved just a little too slow.
Yeah.
Um,
If
that was
they,
probably in the script. I ain't gonna hate on the script, but it just a little too slow for me.
yeah, if they had maybe figured out another story beat to put in here, some other danger other than Daniel standing on his balcony back on Earth, something like, the castle is going to collapse.
Right.
Everybody wake up. We're all in mortal danger. Different kind of mortal danger. That might have helped fill out the episode a little bit. But hey, we matched here for season 4. That is also my pick.
That's funny.
Chat, what do you think? What's the weaker points of season 4 of SG-1? Does season 4 have any weaker points?
I think the only one you could probably argue is probably Entity after this one, personally.
Okay.
Just Carter being possessed by an alien force. It's like we've seen this already in this show. Now we're doing the tour with everybody else needs to get possessed. So we got to do Carter. And it's electric.
Yeah.
And I
It's
mean,
kind
the
of a
best moment
sci-fi
about that one
staple.
is Jack having to zatter. I was like, ooh, that was
Yeah.
rough.
Zatter twice.
Yeah,
That was a good kind of emotional beat at the end. Entity's one of those episodes that is when I'm watching it, I feel like it's fine. And then when it's
right.
been a while since I've seen it, I forget that it exists.
Yeah, it's kind of forgettable.
But yeah, Alien Possession, it's a sci-fi staple. It makes sense that a show that does 250 episodes, everybody's going to get their turn.
Pretty much.
Dan Ben says Beneath the Surface is an okay episode. I would agree with that. Another okay episode
Yeah.
that I think has some really nice beats in it.
Well, I like that even that Jack and Carter don't really remember each other. They still find themselves pulled to one another.
And interesting, if you'll remember back when Beneath the Surface aired, Voyager aired a very similar episode in Workforce right after.
Yeah.
And it was sort of a who came up with this first? And really the answer was there were a million ideas in Hollywood. They both writers' rooms came up with them and developed them at the same time, and the episodes ended up really similar to each other. Not all that surprising.
Yeah.
Only so many ideas in television, right?
Pretty much.
Shen Prism says, while I appreciate any Teal'c backstory, Crossroads is a bit meh for me. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'll go with that too. I do like Masetta Vander in it though.
Yeah. Musetta Vander, the guest star, is great as Shonak. Introduction of Tanith, I appreciate setting up a new bad guy.
Peter
Um,
Wingard.
he gets paid off eventually.
He gets his.
Dan Ben
Are
07,
we?
season 4 has some great explosions.
Hmm.
What are the best explosions in season 4, Dan Ben? Tell me. Trying to remember explosions. You know what would be a close pick for me? We've talked about the curse and our universal love of Osiris and Anna Louise Plowman, but Serpent's Venom is a close pick for me.
That's a good one.
Yeah, almost one of my favorites.
Curse was my backup for uh, the second favorite in this outside of Window of Opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think for me it'd be the Serpent's Venom.
yeah.
Hannah HK says the light is depressing. I love Entity because of Sam. Sam is, I agree. Sam's my favorite character. I like Entity because of that. I like the challenge of, right, the idea that the alien entity, because of its electronic nature, was able to come backwards through an outgoing wormhole was really interesting. Embedding itself in the SGC computer system was interesting. There's a moment in Entity that bugs me. You remember when she's all hooked up and is using the text to speech voice synthesizer for the entity to speak. There's one scene where Jack interrupts her. Right, she wants to be called Samantha Carter, what she wants to be called Major Carter, and she's types it and the voice starts to speak, and Jack interrupts the entity and it cuts off, like the entity was interrupted and stopped speaking mid-sentence, which makes no sense if you're keying it into a keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
These are the things I think about, Jeff.
Speaking spells.
It's like a speaking spell. Yeah, we haven't even talked about 2010 or Chain Reaction or. All
There's
right,
a lot of good episodes.
are we good on season 4? Onward and upward?
I think
We
so.
got a ways to go. Season 5. What do you got?
Season 5 Threshold. It's above and beyond for me. I love this one. That's a big Braytac and Teal'c episode. The awesome costumes like are fantastic. You see the more smooth molded armor on Braytac and him looking a lot younger. There you go. And
Yeah.
the fur, the battle in the snow, Teal'c before he gets his gold inlaid, carved into his head and poured
Yeah,
into there.
he's just in this episode is finally appointed first prime.
Yep. So we get a lot of good, awesome Christopher Judge in this, and everybody trying to snap him out of it. And Teal'c, you got to get back to who you were. And then Braytech just yelling at him at the end, and even Janet Fraser, good old Doc Fraser, being the doctor she needs to be able to save him and to push back against. You're bringing him to death, right?
Yeah.
So some really awesome moments.
Yeah, Janet is a bit of an unsung hero, right? We hear lots of stories about how they had to cut the little character beats when an episode
Yep.
ran long. Thank God, right? Thank the editors
No
that
kidding.
they kept in this little beat with Janet saying, "I don't know how much longer I can let this go on. At some point I might just have to quit my job in protest."
Other shows would totally cut that out and be like, we don't need it for the plot. Keep it moving.
Yeah. But all the flashbacks of Teal'c, young Teal'c and younger Braytac,
Yeah.
such amazing stuff. This is a Brad Wright script, and
Yeah.
getting to see how Teal'c became who he became, getting to see Braytac in all 3 dimensions, maybe 4, 5, 6 dimensions of Braytac. You understand when Threshold is done, you understand who Braytac is. He's
Oh, yeah.
teaching
And why
Teal'c
so
things
important?
like, yeah, you are gonna, as first prime of Apophis, you are going to do some horrible things. You're not going to be able to stop it. You can't defy his will, but sometimes his will can be made to bend.
Yep.
You gotta be there at those times, right? In those moments to make a difference.
Yep. That's why that one stands out for me.
Guys, what are your favorite and least favorite episodes from season 5 of Stargate SG-1? I went with, let's see. You know what? This time I went with Enemies, the season premiere.
Ooh, yes.
And just because there's so much going on in this episode. It's very tightly written as obviously concluding the season 4 cliffhanger, stuck in another galaxy with Apophis, and now suddenly there's replicators, and Teal'c has been brainwashed and turns against the team. We got to find a way to not only defeat the replicators, defeat Apophis, get Teal'c back, but also get back home. Otherwise, it's going to become Stargate Voyager.
Yeah, we don't need that.
And it's
Well, at
obviously
least not yet.
this is the setup for Threshold, right? So Threshold is
Yeah,
solving the Teal'c piece, his brainwashing. But
yeah,
man, this episode is wall to wall. There is always something happening, and it's got funny lines. It's got action. It's
yeah.
got action hero Daniel, right? When we talk about how Daniel got buff and good with a P90 as the show
No
went
kidding.
on, this is the episode where it manifested.
Yeah.
All right, chat, what do you think here? Demomorph, I don't envy you finding the best episode of season 5. So many brilliant episodes and character beats, but seeing Teal'c beat Apophis again is a triumph. Love that moment. Yeah, Teal'c beating Apophis. I don't know. Teal'c is still brainwashed. Jack shoots him and gets him back before Apophis explodes.
Yeah. Well, are we totally sure Apophis is dead? No, I'm kidding.
Are we? Yeah. We'll see him again.
Yep.
It's sci-fi. He'll come back. Hannah HK says 2001 because awesome callback to earlier arc. 48 hours for gate mechanics and the introduction of McKay.
Yep.
But Hannah's favorite SG-1 episode, all-time favorite episode, is Failsafe. That's a great pick. As a
Yep.
standalone classic sci-fi story, I've seen this one. It hits Paris. Failsafe's great. Does season 5 have any press fast forward on the DVD player episodes?
The Fifth Man. That's what I'd go with. Sorry, Tyler. Uh,
Sorry,
Neat
Tyler.
idea, but
Dion Johnstone.
he great. I love that guy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just that one didn't really work with me. And then, oh hey, we've had a fifth member of the team the entire time, and it's actually been an alien who had another foothold situation on the base for Lord knows how long, and everybody's convinced. It's like, wait, no, not everybody. Wait, what's going on here? And so he's an alien species who can affect memories, so to speak. So it's a fine episode, but I'd put that kind of on the, you know what, I'm going to do other stuff while I'm watching this one.
Yeah, it's on my list as well because a lot of the episode ends up being Tyler the Real and Jack
Yep.
hunkered down on another planet, kind of evading the Jaffa, getting ready for a fight, making it through the night. Um, and and then the side story with Simmons and the sort of there's somebody on the computer system trying to look everybody up
Right.
as a little bit of a B plot that will pay off later for Simmons' character, John Delancey. Um, I agree. Fifth Man
Simmons.
feels like half a story that's not quite there. It probably what I think happened with Fifth Man is it feels like it's one of these stories where they got a great teaser. Somebody pitched a teaser where SG-1 comes back through the gate and they say, we got to go back for Colonel O'Neill and Lieutenant Tyler. They're stuck back on the planet. We got to get some reinforcements and go back. And Hammond says, wait a minute, what did you say? Who's Lieutenant Tyler?
Yep.
That's a great beat. That's a great tease for the story. But yeah, I don't know if it had another 44 minutes of story in it.
I don't think so.
Anthony Rawlings says Meridian for season 5 favorite. Great pick. Daniel's swan song. My least favorite, Anthony says, would be The Tomb.
I kind of like the Tomb myself, but I'd go on Menace for like another one I wasn't a big fan of. Doesn't mean it
Okay.
was bad, but I didn't like Daniel crying again.
Yeah, Reese and the proto
Yeah,
replicators.
yeah.
Ashen Prism. Help me out. Is it Ashen Prism or Ashen Prism? Red Sky, not in a rush to rewatch. Dan Benz. Okay, so for our season 4 question, season 4 explosions. Scorched Earth, the generator
Oh, yeah.
explodes above the ship. Point of no return, the escape pod, Martin's escape pod explodes. Serpent's venom, of course, Apophis destroys Harrower. Chain reaction, the weapons test on the Naquadria planet, or Naquita planet. Exodus. Hey, there's an explosion for Stargate. Exodus
No
is where
kidding.
we blow up a sun.
Boom.
Flockwatcher says, even with the what many might call a bad episode, there was always some character interaction or something funny. Yeah, which is why I think every episode on my list I'm still going to rewatch. Demamorph says, I love Summit and Last Stand. Pacing is a bit off between the two-parter, but the Daniel Sarah arc is always engrossing. And seeing the
I absolutely
Tok'ra
agree.
reduced means we're not quite as invincible as we presumed. Yeah, remember the Tok'ra took a beating
Oh yeah.
in Last Stand and Summit.
Was never a big fan of the Toker anyway, so they got taken down a notch.
Really, you're not a fan of the Tok'ra, even though
I like Jacob.
they got your first wave boy?
Oh yeah, they got Bass in there, but as far as Jacob, he was the only good Tok'ra.
Yeah.
Samak. Well,
Yeah, I love
Martooth
Martooth
for as long as he was around, but
for as long as he was with us. Rest his soul.
yeah.
Sheezy45 says Ascension introduces the character of Orlin, who ends up sacrificing himself to save Earth. Yeah, Orlin's going to be important.
Yeah, yes, to a point. You must be this tall to ride this ride.
Is that in the show or is that just a fan thing?
Well, that's a fan thing, but
Yeah, he must be at least as tall. Yeah, young Orlin
yeah.
comes back in season 9. A little bit unsettling,
Yeah, just a little.
given his certain crush. Season 6. Okay, now we're getting into where I think fandom starts to, there are more opinions. The show makes its
Yeah.
move from Showtime to Sci-Fi Channel in the US. Daniel leaves, right? Michael leaves the show. Corin Nemec joins the show. And so season 6 is going to be different, right? Now, the show, it's fair to say, is going to be different from here on out.
Right.
So there are more differences of opinion and more fights about what is great in season 6 and beyond. What's your favorite episode?
Abyss. Hands down,
Abyss.
not even close.
Easy.
This
Brad
one
Wright special.
gets me every time. Daniel, I know he's back for like just 2 to 3 episodes basically, but I love this one because of
What a
the
way to bring him back.
Daniel and Richard have such great chemistry, and it's how you could do so much with so little. And I also like the flip of the camera for the prison cell for Jack, and just overall we get to see Ball being nice, dark, and nasty. So we finally get a Gould who's on the level of Apophis, maybe a little bit worse.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody you don't want to get on his bad side. As much as Ball
No,
grows and he gets used in later seasons, right?
right.
He's introduced in the Summit, and he's got a not insignificant role in the Summit and Last Stand. But this is Ball's episode. This is where he really becomes a big bad.
Yeah, great charisma, awesome presence. He's one of my favorite. He's one of my, if not my favorite Gould in the show. So,
Yeah, I would agree. This is the way Joe Malazzi tells the story is they used Summit and Last Stand to sort of audition new Gould. So they created a
yeah,
whole bunch of new system lords. And I mean, obviously not everybody was written equally. Not everybody at the Summit gets dialogue. But Cliff Simon, what a find. When they
yep, that
cast him
was,
as Ball, he was surely here to stay.
yep.
Yeah, I agree. Abyss is my favorite for the season, hands down, no question. Such a great story, a well-told story. My favorite Jack and Daniel material is when they're fighting over whether Daniel is going to end Jack's life, make sure that he can't be resurrected again in the sarcophagus.
Yep.
What else? Dan Ben says, favorite season 5, Enemies, Between Two Fires, The Warrior, Sentinel, Revelations. Good picks. Revelations is one of my favorite episodes in the entire series. That is a great season finale. I love Revelations. Anthony Rowling, for season 6, Abyss and also Allegiance. Allegiance should definitely get an honorable mention.
Yes.
That
I'd say
was
low
we did
key
that one
season
on your
6
show,
is
didn't we?
pretty consistent. So,
Yeah, I think I was on your show for Allegiance.
yep.
Anthony says, my least favorite for season 6. Okay, let's get to it. Before we reveal Anthony's pick, anybody who can't see the chat right now, what's your least favorite? Because
Oh,
mine's the same as
man.
Anthony's.
I don't have that chat open.
You want me to
Where'd
go
it go?
first?
Oh, well, shadow play for me.
Shadow play. Okay. Dean Stockwell
Ugh.
and back to Kelowna.
Yeah, back to Kelowna. Like, I like the attempt at the story. I like the message they were trying to tell and showcase like the effects of the Naquadria, what it's had on everybody, how they're losing their scientists, and they're trying to woo Jonas back to keep an eye on him, and due to his memory issues and episodes that he's having. But I feel like this didn't really play to Dean Stockwell's strengths. So I feel like he might have been better in a different episode. So I have a sweet spot for Dean Stockwell, Quantum Leap.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, but I've also seen him in Battlestar Galactica remake where he plays a nice, nasty little bad guy. So I know he can do just about any sort of role. This one felt a little misplaced for him. So it kind of is a downgrade for me. Doesn't mean I won't watch it. It's another one of those.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the other room, and every time he's on screen, I will tune in.
I give points for Dean Stockwell. I give it points for of Kelowna, right? Jonas is a main character. He's a main part of the cast
Yes.
now. He needs some stories. He needs some backstory, some fleshing out. He's turned against his people. He's stolen their stuff and basically become an outcast. And so it's important that we start to tell Kelowna stories. This one, I don't know. The twist is nice, right? So spoiler alert if you haven't seen Shadowplay. The twist is it's all fake, right? This resistance movement against the Kelownan government that Dean
Yep.
Stockwell is a part of, it's just his hallucinations because he's not well. It's an interesting twist, but I don't know that it's one of those twists that's like you say, oh, that's interesting. What a twist. And then you just feel sad for him. Like there's no
Right.
other payoff. There's no other value in that being what's actually going on. Is just you're sad for him and now we have nothing.
Yeah. Well, when it comes after Abyss, where we've almost been defeated by one episode, and we're getting another one, so it feels like two downer episodes in a row a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's an interesting way to think about pacing for a season.
Yeah.
Uh, is the ups and downs of the emotional beats from one episode to the next. Obviously, when they wrote SG-1, it was a weekly thing. They were
Oh,
not,
yes.
writing it for binge viewing.
Yeah, that's something we bring up on our show a little bit is from early seasons, like episode order mm, could have been at least a little more. I hate saying like do it out of order based on production, whatever. It's always
Yeah,
a scheduling nightmare, and sometimes the network jumps in and they want to throw this episode here, this one there for hey, May sweeps, November sweeps, we got to get the ratings up. Okay, I get it. But there is something to be said about following the ebbs and flows of the season. You don't want too many downers in a row because then you're conditioning your audience that, hey, this is the tone of the show now. Oh, wait, the
yeah,
next episode's actually an uplifting one. It's Wormhole Extreme.
yeah.
That's not going to bring people back, though. It's a little late for that.
I absolutely, I agree. That's and it's subconscious for a lot of viewers, right? They might just see SG-1 on the TV guide and think, oh, that show makes me feel,
Sad.
and they just not tune in that week.
Yeah.
Raj Luthra reminds us, yes, Dean Stockwell was also in Star Trek Enterprise. He did a
Yep.
great guest spot there alongside Scott Bakula. Cheesy45 says, I really like The Other Guys, where the bumbling idiots accidentally saved the day. It was great fun.
It's
Disclosure.
Coombs, everybody.
It's Coombs, everybody. Yeah, again, very quotable. Hannah HK, Disclosure is a bit meh for me, but still has good moments. Yeah, again, as a clip show, it's kind of easy to pick on it, but I think it's like you said, it's got good moments and it's also important to the story, right? We disclose the Stargate program and everything that we have, everything that
Yeah.
we've gained and our shiny new ship, that we disclose it to at least some nations. What else do you guys think here? Looking for some new names in the chat. Kite Dancing in a Hurricane says Abyss is the best of season 6, and I loved the fun of the other guys. 1000%. Appreciate you all being here and talking Stargate with us today. My least favorite, Anthony brought it up a minute ago. Least favorite of season 6, Sight Unseen's not a super strong outing.
I would agree.
It has its charms, right? This is the one where we find a piece of alien tech, and if you touch it, you can see creatures, giant bugs that live in our space in another dimension. And that's it. And it passes through physical contact from person to person. It gets outside of the base. It causes havoc. People are seeing giant slugs on the windshield of their truck and crashing. So
Taking out
it
that
becomes a
sign was
containment
great.
story. Right? Say again?
Taking out that gas station sign was fantastic for sight unseen. It was like the running gag.
And that's, yeah, it's an episode where that's kind of one of the highlights is taking out the gas station sign. It's I think as one of the producers recently put it, it's kind of a and what else? They can see them, but they're not actually a danger, so they freak out.
Yep.
So kind of lower stakes. It's kind of fun, but without it's kind of written to be fun, but it's not funny, I guess is how I would put it. Right? The freak out, the guy driving and freaking out because he sees the slug, that's kind of a comedic beat that I just, yes, doesn't necessarily land. And then it just becomes a virus outbreak story, right? It becomes a containment story. Raj Luthra says, Prometheus is another of my favorite episodes. Now, the show changes with Prometheus. Jeff, I'm curious what you think of the sort of before spaceship era and the after spaceship era of Stargate. Because this is part of how season 6 changes the show is we don't have to use the Stargate all the time anymore. We have ships that will fly us from planet to planet and come and rescue us when we can't get to the gate.
Yeah, I call it part of the natural evolution of the show. You kind of need that. Doesn't mean you still can't utilize the aspects of, like, say, the transporter, the ring system, the death gliders. We've already been introduced to the death gliders in the X30. Geez, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the F302s.
F302. Thank you. I'm like, X is wrong, and it's throwing me here. But like, we've already been introduced to a lot of that. So it feels like at some point we got to go bigger and we got to go bolder.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with the more of the spacefaring atmosphere. It gives a lot more opening for other crew, other cast to be part of the show and get them in there for a minute or two because, hey, we all like, Mitch Pileggi. Like, without introducing that aspect, we never would have gotten Mitch Pileggi, and then Mitch Pileggi in Stargate Atlantis. There's other characters, other great captains we get, and it's like they wouldn't have had a chance.
Yeah.
What would they have been? Another SG team and then killed halfway through an episode?
Yeah, without spaceships, you don't get Hermione cursing under his breath in Asgard.
Correct. I mean, it opens up the story enough, and we still get enough Stargate travel, so it's not like it's completely missing.
Okay, put a pin in this. We're going to come back to it in one of my complaints in a few seasons. Let's see. Where are we at? Yeah, guys, share your favorite and least favorite for each season as we're going through this in the chat. Season 7 is again the show evolving, moving forward. This is the point where Richard Dean Anderson decided to sign on for another season, but with a reduced filming schedule. So you'll start to notice in a lot of these, especially in season 7, Jack's not front and center anymore. It's not all 4 of them in every episode. So there are some creative ways, really some, give the writers credit. There's some clever ways of writing Jack out of certain storylines.
Oh yeah, especially Fragile Balance.
Yeah. Genius, because Jack O'Neill is front and center. He's just not played by Richard Dean Anderson.
Right.
Is that your pick? What's your favorite for season 7?
You know what? I am going to go with Fragile Balance because I think it makes the best use of what we're going to get with Jack this season. He's still going to be around. He's still going to be, he might bookend some episodes. He might be front and center for some others. But this is a great example of being able to utilize him and also use a plot to where, there's some Asgards out there that aren't exactly on the up and up, which with Stargate Atlantis coming up, that's going to be a very important
For
thing to
sure.
see. So it's
Yeah.
an early crumb. So, but overall, it's a fun episode. It's got enough touching feelings to it. One drawback to it is when he's confronted with Jacob and you're going to go back in the deep freeze, and the first thing he does is he escapes the base. It's like, I think you were just doing that so you could have like a couple scenes outside the base. I don't think Jack would actually flee in that situation.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. You're right. The introduction of Loki, I think, just makes the Asgard more interesting because they're very sort. They at least up to this point they have appeared as really kind of by the book. They're rule followers.
Right.
They turn to humans when they need outside of the box thinking. But I mean, think about SG-1's interactions with the High Council in Red Sky. Asgard are very, by the book. They're like our parents out in the galaxy. And
A
now
little bit,
here,
yeah.
here comes Loki, who is a little bit of a troublemaker, a bit of a do his own thing. It's a great pick. Sheezy45 is pointing out how difficult this is going to be for season 7 because season 7 has both Heroes and Lost City. Two
Mm.
commonly cited by fans as some of Stargate's best of all time. For me, season 7 is Lost City. I'm going to take the two-parter. I get to claim the two-parter as my favorite episode because when it first aired on Sci-Fi, it aired as a movie, I believe. At least it's on
I
my
believe
DVD.
so, yeah.
At least it's on the DVD as a single episode edited together.
Yep.
What a finale. What a finale.
Tremendous.
Anubis
Big
attacks Earth,
payoff.
Battle of Antarctica, introduction of
Yeah.
Dr. Weir. Boy,
Or a Dr. Weir.
a version of Dr. Weir. Not the Weir we will come to know and love. But I think just Jessica Steen's introduction of Weir was very strong. I would have watched that
Oh yeah.
character for 5 seasons.
Oh yeah. Agreed. Jack going back into the the head device. Okay, here we go again, everybody.
Yeah, right now this is we discover the face hugger, another one at the beginning of the story, and it's this one of the reasons I love it so much is because this is Stargate uh, appreciating its audience and letting its audience be intelligent enough to understand the stakes and the scope and the implications of what they're seeing on the screen. There is
Yep.
not a 2-minute discourse on the last time we saw one of these and what it did to Jack and what we had to do to fix it. And there might be some nods to some of that material from the fifth race. But no, if you're a longtime viewer of the show, you see that thing on the wall, you know exactly what it means and why we
All right.
can't let Anubis get it and why it's now or never. We either blow it up or somebody's got to stick their face in it. And of course, Jack's not going to let it be Daniel.
Oh hell no. We need you to translate when I lose my
Yeah,
mind.
exactly. You're the one person it can't be.
Yep.
And then he steps back through the gate to General Hammond and says, I did it again.
Yep. Oops, I did it again.
Dima Morph says, I love evolution. Mid-season two-parter. Everyone gets hurt. Might be one of the first time our heroes survive, but you can really feel the physical pain. Got some great lines too. Won't beat Heroes, but it's my favorite. Yeah, come in and watch Suns and Shadows in a few weeks. I'll be there talking about evolution.
Yep, that's gonna be a fun one.
Okay, and Raj Luthra says, Unnatural Selection is another great episode with some great dialogue. Carter, sir, we can't call it the Enterprise.
Yes.
All right. Least favorite for season 7.
And for me, enemy mine. It's not even close.
Enemy Mine. Okay.
I'm not
Return
the
of
biggest
Shaka.
fan of Unos episodes to begin with. Just in general. Even though I love
Oops,
the
I put that on the wrong
costuming,
list.
all the effects are great. But this feels like we kind of dealt with a similar situation with Spirits like a couple seasons ago, and now we're doing this again with Unos. Just felt like, okay, we're just gonna recycle a story. Sorry, but I mean, I love Michael Rooker in this. Fantastic. Love seeing him in here. And also I enjoy seeing Daniel having a little bit more of a role of like, you actually can communicate with Unas, and I do like the ending overall. Like, oh yeah, everything's fine. They'll do all the work. We get all the reward. Have a nice day. Okay, you are a pain in the ass, but well worth it.
It works out. Yeah.
So
Yeah, Enemy Mine's it's very mid for me. Michael Rooker's great in it. Enemy Mine
yes,
introduces Cavan Smith as Lorne before he shows up on
yes,
Atlantis. This is his character's introduction. But yeah, it's Daniel and Chaka, like trying to make the military guys take a breath and not just trample all over the indigenous people's land that they regard as, sacred burial grounds.
yeah. Even short cameo from Stephen Williams again as General Vidrine.
Oh yeah, Vidrine. Vidrine, we learn at this point, is now in charge of the whole Let's Make a Lot of Ships BC
Yep.
304 program. So they need the Naquita mine.
Oh yeah.
My pick for season seven, bottom of season seven. This is hard because season seven's bad episodes, I think, are not very bad.
No.
I think to the one, they're all very watchable. I went with Avenger 2.0.
Okay.
So this is the return of Jay Felger. And right, we're looking for reasons to, let me find it here. We're looking for reasons to, write stories that don't have to involve the whole cast, especially
All
not
right.
Rick. So here is one that is mostly Carter and the guest star.
Yep.
I like this because this is a story where we break the Stargate, not just our gate, but the entire Stargate network with this computer virus, or rather what Ball and his engineers did with the computer virus when they got their hands on it.
Yep.
Um, I like Jay Felger in small doses.
I
So
agree with
I
that.
enjoy this. I'll watch it, but it's it's at the bottom for me.
Yeah, I go other guys for his of the two episodes. I'd go with the other guys because of um oh Dr. Flox. Oh jeez.
Yeah, Coombs.
Yep, Coombs.
Hey, if this episode had Coombs in it, it gains a star.
Yeah, pretty much. I would agree. I mean, it's not a bad idea, and it introduces a neat aspect to Ball later on.
Jenny Dean says, least favorite season 7 episode for me is Inauguration. Again, that's hard to quibble with as a clip show. That doesn't feature our team. This, I think, is Inauguration might be the only episode of the series that SG-1's not in at all. I mean, they're in the
Mhm.
flashbacks, but the main cast did not have to participate in filming.
Yeah,
Anthony Rawlings says Resurrection is my least favorite.
that's my other one.
Yeah, I was tempted to go with Resurrection. I think the girl, right, the sort of cloned Sekhmet in human form is an interesting idea.
Right.
Resurrection is written by Michael Shanks. It's directed by Amanda Tapping.
Yep.
So also can't go too hard on it. Anna HK, Death Knell, and Grace for the Jack Sam moments. Yeah, if you're a Jack Sam shipper, there's plenty to love in season 7. Okay, I'm now noticing the time. We gotta keep this train moving.
I can. That's fine. Yep.
Okay, season 8.
Season 8, my favorite is Reckoning and Threats. Uh, I'm hitting a two-parter. Sorry, everybody.
Ooh, that's a 3-parter. Reckoning and Threads. What if I make you pick
Well, that's true. I'm,
Reckoning or Threads?
you know what? I'll just go with the Threads then.
Would it be Threads? Okay,
Yep.
so let's talk about them both because I'm gonna pick Reckoning.
Okay. Yeah, with Threads, like I appreciate like the whole dealing with the death and then what's really going on with Anubis, where he's kind of at middle of the road with everything, and the Oma struggle. Like I like the episodes that take you out of Stargate and they put you in a different sort of where are we? What exactly is going on sort of situation. So you're kind of guessing like who's who, what's what, and there's so many sprinklings of what's going on with the ascended beings and how they treat and view Anubis. I feel like this is a big culmination and it takes care of Anubis at the very end, and I think it delivers with, all right, then this is what's up. And the way it ends with the relationships with everybody, I feel like it was a great way to end the season. And I would have just left it there. So I
Yeah.
think Threads is awesome. Daniel's great. Everybody's great.
Threads is right. It has its own important story beats, like you laid out. But for
Yep.
the story arc of Reckoning parts 1 and 2 in Threads, it's kind of the denouement of the story. So
Right.
some of the beats are slower. It's characters figuring out what's what. We got to deal with Jacob's death in Threads.
Yes.
That's heartbreaking.
That's the
Him,
part of it I was like, ooh, you're adding a death in here. Ouch.
ouch, yeah. And it's a tough loss. He's a beloved character. He's not just
You
Sam's
know,
dad. He's kind of felt like the audience's dad at that point.
right.
And yeah, some more shipper stuff. Sam is convinced by the events, and she's got to break things off with the old what's his name, Stalker Pete, and tell Jack how she feels, and only to discover Jack is now dating someone else.
That's in Mobius. That is not in Threads. Because Mobius is where they do the time travel. And no, wait. She breaks up with Pete before this.
I think it's Threads. Tell us in the chat when this storyline happens. It might have been earlier in the season. I know they got engaged towards the beginning of the season. Um, it's, but you're right. All the stuff in the diner on the ascended plane with Daniel and Oma and the ancients kind of feels to me like a puzzle box. It's like a mystery, and we gotta solve the mystery, or we gotta watch Daniel solve the mystery and figure it out at the end. And the reveal, the twist in Threads of Anubis identity. Great.
Let's see. That
Great
was
casting for George Zuda as the diner Anubis.
yes, that stood out.
Yeah, chat saying this was in Threads.
Oh, okay.
A lot of it is um, folks may or may not know there's a longer version and a shorter version of Threads.
Oh,
Um, and so there's a 90-minute version that you can find on the DVD set that originally aired on Sci-Fi, but never aired on television again. And the longer version of Threads has some extra scenes and some extended scenes.
hmm,
I think all the main story beats are there, though.
okay.
Shen Prism says Prometheus Unbound is a banger.
Oh, yeah,
Introduction of Vala.
with Bala,
Yeah, you are very attractive.
pretty much.
Cold Warrior. I love the introduction to Vala in the Cold Warrior uniform. Okay, Threads and Reckoning. And then for Reckoning, I would say, I mean, it's all payoff. Threads too, but Reckoning is all payoff. This is the setup of 8 seasons of fighting the System Lords, the Replicators, what would happen if the Replicators and the System Lords had to go toe to toe. Reckoning is just scene after scene of payoff.
Yep.
So it's like the dessert that you've earned at the end of your meal. All right, do you have a least favorite for season 8?
Citizen Joe.
All right, maybe
I
is this a controversial pick?
It might be.
I'm
I
curious. Yeah,
did
chat, what
not
do you
like
think of
this
Citizen Joe?
episode. I did not like the idea of, this has actually been a thing for the last like 8 years. Didn't you find it odd you were dreaming about the life of a barber? No. I mean,
Yeah,
there's some
Jack found
good
it very
comedy.
restful for
Yeah.
years to have visions of Joe's life.
I mean, there's good comedy. I wasn't, I usually like these kind of episodes. This one didn't work for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Great
Again,
casting though.
it technically it's a clip show, but it's a very different
Yeah.
kind of clip show because it's very much focused on the envelope, the everything
Right.
that's going on around the clips, with the story of Joe Spencer, played by Dan Castellaneta.
Yeah.
Um, Great casting, great
Oh
idea.
yeah.
Can it sustain an hour of television? I don't know. Maybe. His story is tragic.
Yeah.
At least he gets some redemption in the end.
Yes,
He
he does.
gets to tell his wife that he was actually right all along.
Pretty much.
And he didn't just go crazy. Yeah, but I would agree with that. It's not a instant rewatch for me. Anthony Rawlings says my least favorite for season 8 is Covenant. I skip it every rewatch. Covenant is the billionaire and his introduction of the Asgard clone,
That
threatening to
one's okay.
expose secrets of the Stargate.
I like how we keep getting the reporter back. I do like that part.
Yeah, that's smart. They keep bringing back Julia Donovan as the reporter in all these different
Yes.
contexts over the seasons.
All the way through season 10.
She's our news anchor. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say for my pick for season 8 is Icon. Icon, guys, do you even remember Icon? Do you remember anything about this episode? Let me find it. It
That was on my
is
list because it's not memorable to me. I have to look it
it
back
is
up myself.
not memorable. It's the follow-up. No, it's not the follow-up. It has a follow-up in season 9. Icon is
Oh, yeah.
lovingly nicknamed English Patient Daniel. And boy, guess what I thought of the English Patient as a movie?
Yeah, same.
Boring. Terrible
I mean,
movie. Did not like it.
hey,
So
Matthew
Stargate's
Bennett's
version of
awesome.
it.
But
Say again.
Matthew Bennett's awesome. But
Matthew Bennett's awesome. Matthew Bennett is introduced in this episode as Jared Kane.
yep.
And Daniel ends up in recovery after something has gone horribly wrong on this planet. He's in recovery out in the countryside with Lita, who I think is Jared's sister.
Yep.
Um, it's one of those stories that, again, I like the concept. It's one of those stories of how our team's arrival on a planet helps to screw things up, helps to, in this case, kind of exacerbate political tensions. And so Daniel ends up stuck, right? He does not have access to the gate anymore. They're in the middle of a coup. They're in the middle of an uprising against this government, so he can't get to the Stargate and has to join this resistance movement in sort of retaking the facility, putting down this cult leader. Interesting ideas. I found the episode itself pretty dull.
Yep.
Paul Brickler says the actress in Icon is cute, and the guy who looks like Kevin Costner's little brother are good. Yeah, that must be Matthew Bennett. Matthew Bennett and lead is played by Amy Sloan.
Yep.
Yeah, good performances from the guest stars. Patrick Manley says, I did like Citizen Joe. That was fun. Paul Brickler's pick would be Avatar. Is that for best or worst? Because I love Avatar.
Avatar's good. I like that.
All right. I don't need to tell any of you guys that season 9 represents a big change to the show.
Yes.
New story. Rick leaves the cast. New cast members in Ben Browder and special guest star Claudia Black. She will officially join the cast in season 10.
Right.
What's your favorite for this
Of this one,
introduction of the Ori storyline?
actually, I'm gonna go with the pilot, Avalon. I mean, I call it a pilot, the first 2 episodes,
Kind of a
because it
repilot,
sets
isn't
up
it?
everything. And well, I don't have to tell you, like the idea was to kind of do a little rebrand, and that didn't
Decade.
happen. So it's SG-1 still, but ultimately love the idea of the ascended beings be the next kind of bad guys. Like, how do you fight that? They are literally gods.
Yeah, they're
And
evil
so,
fire ascended beings.
yeah,
Your staff weapon and your P90 is not going to cut this one.
and they have no problem breaking some rules and trying to invade our galaxy because we tipped them off where we were at. So I can't go wrong. I do like the addition of the cast. I'm a big Farscape guy, so there was a
Oh
little
yeah.
adjustment going on with Ben Browder joining the show, but I think after a few episodes, he felt great in the role, and even Daniel with a little scruff. Uh, that oddly worked.
It
So
did work.
I
Yeah, he
enjoyed
was
that one.
endearing for a while.
Yeah,
I thought these
and then
early
he
Vala
cleaned up.
episodes were also strong, right? Written
Yep.
as an arc of mostly standalone stories for
Yes.
Vala's 6 episodes at the start of the season. Okay, so I'm gonna give you Avalon Part 1 and 2 and Origin. It's kind of a three-parter.
It is.
You're
Origins
you're
really good
you're
too.
counting
Yeah.
Origin in here?
Sure. Why not?
My favorite for season 9. Oh, my mouse. Wake up. The end of that story arc is Beachhead. Before Vala vanishes into the nether of another galaxy.
That's
This
true.
is Sam's return. This is the introduction of the Supergate. We don't know what a Supergate is. We've never seen one before. We don't know why this prior has shown up on this planet and erected a force field around the Stargate and is turning this planet into a giant fireball and manipulating us and the Jaffa to turn this planet into a fireball to ultimately power a singularity to power the Supergate. I love
Yeah.
Beachhead. I love what it does with the mythology. I love Vala's sacrifice at the end. If that had been the end of her character, great. She would have been fantastic just with that sacrifice. But it also makes a lot of sense that she ended up ringing her way through the wormhole.
Oh yeah, that was like, ooh, interesting concept there.
Yeah. Chat, what do you guys think of season 9? Foothill Climber says, I watched Ben and Claudia closely to see how they would fit. They lived up to my expectations from my joy of watching them on Stargate and Farscape. Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Boy, we're in. I can't talk about Farscape without gushing. We're in our rewatch. We're heading into the final episodes of season 4 in our rewatch
There you go.
with our kids, and man, Ben and Claudia are so good. They are so good.
I'm glad we got the miniseries to wrap it up.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Patrick Manley says Beachhead was pretty wild. We didn't know how badly the Ori were kicking our butts
Oh
until
yeah.
Beachhead. Yeah. Good luck with that. If they can successfully establish a Supergate, good luck with that.
Yep, that's a problem.
Foreshadowing. Hannah HK says Ripple Effect. We got to see Janet. Yeah, Parallel Universe Janet comes back in
Yes.
Ripple Effect. Great
That's a good
story.
episode. Yeah.
Navia 420. Is that the one where they were going to burn Claudia? Yeah, in Avalon Part 2,
Yes.
where they were
Looks like
burning
part
her
two.
as a witch in the medieval village. That's a very disturbing scene.
Yep, they went dark.
That was
And they
super.
weren't
That was
messing around.
the darkest Stargate I'd ever seen. I was shocked.
I was like, whoa, we are definitely doing something different now.
Dan Ben says collateral damage is the same as the Star Trek Voyager episode Ex Post Facto. Yeah, again, there's only so many ideas in science fiction. Anthony Rawling says mine are Avalon and Camelot for favorites of season 9. So that's the
Ooh,
beginning and
Camelot.
the end.
Yeah.
Camelot. So we did. Let's see. Let's pull up Camelot here. We did episode polls. Every single week we would have a poll up. As soon as the episode had finished airing, come online and vote. Was this poor, fair, good, great, excellent? And then we would turn that into the score, the fan rating. I would calculate it on a 10-point scale. And Camelot might be the highest fan rated episode ever. It scored a 9.56.
Oh, dang.
And I had never seen anything like that, polling episodes for years at that point.
Yeah.
I had never seen, right? We got lots of episodes, right? Beloved episodes, fan favorites that score over 9s. I had never seen a 9.56. And the next time we were in the production offices, we ended up talking about it with Brad Wright, the co-creator of the show. And he asked us, like, is that real? Did something happen? Because he had seen it and we were like, yeah, I went in and checked the numbers. I had on that poll, I had an IP logger to make sure people weren't gaming the system. And I went and I reviewed the logs. And as far as I can tell, people just love that episode,
That
especially
one's a
that whiz
great
bang
way to
finale.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, there's your Supergate back at last. And Ori ships. Camelot is excellent. Great choice. What is your low point for season 9?
My low point is Off the Grid, where we get more of the Lucian Alliance. Not one of my kind of favorite kind of. They're kind of like the B-listers of being bad, but
Yeah.
and it's a bunch of like searching for this item to go find this item to go find this item. It just kind of goes in a loop, and I don't like that kind of style episode in any show, and I didn't really kind of fall for that one here. So
Yeah, Off the Grid is another one of those that has a great teaser. You remember the
yes,
teaser for Off the Grid?
yeah.
They're running away from the Lucian Alliance. SG-1 is running back to the gate. Daniel, dial us out of here. We're, under fire. And the gate disappears. Somebody beams the gate away and it's gone. Now, how are
Guys,
you going to
we have a
retreat?
problem.
Great teaser. I love the setup for this story. But yeah, the Lucian Alliance as an antagonist in the wake of the fall of the System Lords. I love the
Yeah,
idea that other,
right.
power players are going to get their hands on their tech, their weapons, their ships, try and, take territory and fight with each other in this
Yes.
feudal system that the Gould had set up for millennia. Uh, the early execution of the Lucian Alliance, they're kind of, store brand bad guys. They're, and that includes some of the characters in this episode. They're just not that intimidating. They're not that scary. They
Yeah.
reinvented them for universe. Yeah, I think
Yes,
in a way
which
that was
a
much more
little bit better.
effective.
Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah, I agree. Navia says the gate or the DHG. Was it both? They might have beamed away both.
I think they took both.
The gate and the DHG. Paul Brickler says, I like the Mary Poppins line in Off the Grid. Yeah, and when you're bad guy, this is the dynamic, right? When your heroes don't take your bad guys seriously and are like, quipping and taunting them while they're supposedly being beaten and tortured for information, you're telling your audience not to take the bad guys seriously.
Yep.
Problem is, we'd always had Jack. Jack had always done that to everyone.
Yeah, that was part of his deal.
Anthony Rawling says Prototype is my least favorite for season 9. I could see that. I like the episode, but I could see how it doesn't rise to the top. Okay. We're getting close to the top of the hour. Jeff, how long do I have you for here today? Should we bust through the rest of these or save them for another time? Or are you good for a little while?
Maybe we could do season 10. I might have to go after that though, because I kind of want to talk about the Atlantis universe, and I don't know what kind of time I really got. So
Yeah, they deserve full conversations. So let's
yeah,
do this as an SG-1 list, and we'll come back to those shows.
cool.
Season 10. What's your favorite for season 10?
I gotta go with the easy one here. Sorry, everybody. Pegasus Project. Daniel finally gets to Atlantis. The payoff for 4 seasons, it feels like.
The Pegasus Project. The big crossover episode. Is it just because Daniel gets to Atlantis, or is it, hey, we get
It,
to see Weir, we get Shepard, we get McKay in this?
we get a little bit of everybody, but I also get what I the crux of this episode that works the best for me is when he calls out the ascended being in the hologram. Like, this was way too easy, and he knew it like almost immediately. Something's funny here, and then trying to bust her in front of Weir,
It's
and
such a
then
great
Weir's like,
moment.
"Oh, come on, this entire time."
Yeah,
So cracks me up, and it's a well thought out episode to get to the bottom of Merlin and Morgan Le Fay and everything that's going on. And hey, you got to do more than help here. We're doing your dirty work for you at this rate.
yeah,
And I loved like the confrontation and Daniel just basically sticking up for everybody, including himself. We're done with you. You either give us more information or we're just going to do this on our own, and you might not like what we do.
exactly. Yeah, Morgan Le Fay. Uh, I think it's worth clarifying that Morgan hasn't been pretending to be the Atlantis hologram for forever since the
Right.
team showed up in Atlantis. It was just SG-1 decided we're going to go to Atlantis. We're going to look in the database to try and figure out, or to get some lead on Merlin's weapon.
Uh-huh.
And Morgan plays the role of the hologram. And that, boy, that beat. When he figures her out
Yep,
and the hologram turns and looks at him straight
I
in the
know.
eye and says, "You have your answer, Daniel Jackson. I suggest you act on it."
Gets me every time on a
Magic.
rewatch. I'm like, perfectly done. Excellent.
Magic.
Yep.
Yeah. And the dialing the supergate from another galaxy, using a black hole to power the connection to the supergate, nuking a Wraith Hive ship to establish jump the wormhole, and
Yep.
destroying an Ori warship on the other side in the same time. Just
Love it.
golden. Such a great episode with such a great performances and a
Yes.
great climax.
Ton of fun. Can't go wrong with that one at all. Even as a standalone episode, everybody, like, you can just get right to that one.
Yeah, John Yulden says all Gate World always brings a lemon, and 100%. Yeah. Keep it 100. Daniel calling out the ancients is great.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring a lemon. If you've got to deal with McKay, you got to keep them in line. Asha and Prism, Pegasus Project is awesome. Raj Luthra, Season 10, The Pegasus Project is another GOAT episode. Absolutely. Anthony has 2 picks for Season 10, Memento Mori and Unending. Daniel and Vala's chemistry in both episodes was superb. Yeah, Claudia's a main cast member now, and Vala gets her patch. She's part of SG-1 now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Strange. Great performances, Morgan Le Fay. The Shroud is a great episode. Let's talk about the Shroud for a minute.
That's my second backup,
Is that your
actually. So,
backup? Yeah,
yep.
no surprises. Shroud's outstanding. I wish they would have. I feel like, right, so Michael had requested some time off.
Right.
So he gets captured, right, in Quest Part 2, and then he's gone for a couple of episodes. And then when they bring him back, he's been turned into a prior. And I still kind of wish they would have, right, stuck to their guns, or whatever the right expression is, and played him out as evil, at least
I
at
think so
first.
too.
I want to see evil Daniel, maybe for an episode. And then he comes around. Then Merlin sort of unscrambles his brain.
Right.
But it's such, right, seeing Daniel as a prior is such a shocking image.
Right.
I think that would have been more interesting than just watching him be Daniel, shaking in his chair, trying to convince Jack that he's still himself. As
Which
fun
is
as that
super
was,
funny. Yeah.
it's a good beat. It's well done. I love the episode. But yeah, what would it have been like to have evil Daniel for a couple episodes?
Or at this late stage of the season, you could have actually carried it through to the season finale where you really rested on the not unending as a conclusion, but like if there was another kind of episode that he could have played the evil prior or questionable prior, we'll call it. I think you could have ended with, is he really here for us or is he really here for something else? Like, what is Daniel going to do? And then boom, cliffhanger. But as we find out, there's
Yeah.
not another season, so I wouldn't have done it without knowing that for sure that you were getting another season. So
Yeah, and you could have dragged out evil Daniel if the show was more serialized.
yes,
Everybody at this point had already kind of agreed, right, between the network and MGM and the production team, this is more episodic than it is serialized. So it's
yeah,
tough to make one of your main characters, one of your beloved performers and characters, go to the dark side and then leave him there for a
right.
while. I think they ended up with the same kind of question with Ronan in Atlanta season 5,
I think
when
so.
he
Yeah,
becomes a Wraith worshiper. Like, Jason does this so well. Could we just have
yeah.
evil Ronan for 1 or 2 episodes? All right, what do you guys think? Lockwatcher says Unending was such a great episode, and I believed at some point it would come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that the show would come back.
We just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But then we got the movies.
Season
So
11, What If? Okay, let's wrap this up then. What is the low point of season 10 for you?
For me, it's Bounty.
Is it
I
really?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that one. It's a whole big high school reunion episode, and I feel like I've been watching that on a bunch of other shows we're covering for our channel. It's like, I mean, good acting, good performances, so there's some good fun to it. I just the Lucian Alliance again, sending a bunch of bounty hunters to do their work for you, and the bounty hunters end up being more interesting than the Lucian Alliance was a
Yeah.
little okay. So you guys really are kind of sad and pathetic. I mean, maybe that's the idea. You want an enemy that can promptly get their butts kicked because we're getting our butts kicked by the Ori, but Bounty didn't play out the best for me, so
Yeah,
that's
we
where
got a
I'm going.
matching set again. It's for me, it's Pegasus Project and Bounty.
Yeah,
There's some fun beats in Bounty. I understand why people love it the way that they do.
right.
The high school reunion stuff doesn't work for me. Maybe it's because of my uh, memories of high school. Uh,
Same.
I don't know. I mean, I had some good high school experiences too, but it's not a time I'm eager to return to. So having a whole Sam or a Cam and Vala high school storyline,
Yeah,
yeah, the bounty hunter stuff's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, Mike Dopood, a bounty hunter, kicking ass and taking names, taking out other bounty hunters along the way to get his
I know.
prize. That
I
stuff
was
all
like,
works. I
ooh,
love it.
there we go. Yeah.
Well, you guys, this is our definitive list of the best and worst of each season of Stargate SG-1. We're going to come back and do a part 2 to cover Atlantis and Universe because clearly this is a lot of fun. Anybody else in the chat want to chime in here? Paul Brickler says his pick for the low point of season 10 is Family Ties. So I feel like season 10 is a little more uneven than
Oh,
than some of the other
yeah.
seasons, right? The highs are higher, but the lows are also lower. I got a lot of candidates when I was looking through the list for my least favorite in season 10. Family Ties is one of them. I love Fred Willard, but
Oh
the
God, yeah.
the comedy of the episode, I felt like it feels try hard to me. Feels like a lot of the comedy just doesn't land.
Agreed.
Dan Ben says I dislike season 10 Morpheus. I also thought about that one. Morpheus is an episode where our team is falling asleep.
Oh, that one. Okay,
And
I'm
if
like,
they
is that
fall
the
asleep,
sleepy
they
one?
die. That's tough to watch, especially at 11:30 at night when you're tired.
Which is when I was actually watching that episode recently. I was like, ooh, bad idea.
Yeah, Lockwatcher's going to come in for Bounty. Bounty is a fun episode. They say a little comical. The ending was great with a Lucian connection. Raj Luthra says, season 10 onwards, they should have built a resistance movement in the Milky Way galaxy, having Jonas and the other allies of Earth making appearances, seeing familiar characters again. And it would have been great to do some kind of Ori resistance stories. And these planets, like Jonas Planet, we know fell to the Ori. They were conquered.
Yes.
They were taken over. Um, that would have been good on kind of a micro level, right? If you can spend a whole episode on one planet looking at that resistance movement, I think you could do a story like that. A lot of season 10 and the Ori invasion felt like it played out on a galactic scale. We didn't really get boots on the ground all that often.
Right. And we got a lot of that with the Jaffa in the later seasons of SG, like season 6 and 7.
Yeah, sort of the resistance underground.
Yep.
Yeah, Navia says can't wait for the Atlantis picks. So we're gonna have to have you back soon. Finish
Oh
this
yeah,
list up.
not a problem.
Raj says the Quest Part 1 and 2, a mid-season two-parter, also
Oh
great
yes.
episodes. There's a lot to love. I love having to team up with Ball and Adria for the Quest.
I know. The two of them were chewing scenes.
And the Morgan in part 2, Morgan has set up this automated system with the
Yeah.
teleporter that right takes all of the cave where Merlin has been frozen and all of his tech that SG-1 is inside the cave, and it periodically the gate automatically dials a new planet and the teleporter beams all of it through the wormhole to a new planet. So you have
Yeah.
this rotating wheel of randomization, skipping from one planet to the next. That was a ton of fun. And of course, Sam punching Ball in the face.
Oh, beautiful scene.
Lockwatcher says, for Bounty, it was nice to see the Feral got off the other side planet to make the high school reunion. Feral is Anne-Marie DeLuise.
Yep.
Was recast as a new character, played Amy Vanderberg. Vanderberg. I always get those wrong.
Vanderberg?
Yeah, Cam's love interest, his old high school crush.
Yep. Gets all klutzy for
Vanderberg.
Vanderberg.
Dan Ben says in seasons 9 and 10, they name dropped a lot of planets. Season 2 of Universe name dropped planets again.
Yep.
Yeah, and we will, by Universe Season 2, we will get to see Jonas' homeworld again. Unfortunately, not Jonas. All right, you guys, anything else? We've been spinning through this for a couple hours. That just flew by for me.
Good time having fun.
Man, talking Stargate, come on. Come hang out with us
Best
on a
time.
Friday sometime. We're talking Stargate here at Gate World on YouTube. Guys, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you playing along in the chat. We appreciate you watching us after the fact. If you're watching this on replay, we are live most Fridays here on Gate World on YouTube. Check the channel, check Gate World on social media for the schedule, upcoming streams. I don't have a calendar for June yet to show off because I started late and we're still pinning people down for certain dates. But my plans for June are we're going to stream on Fridays. I'm going to take off June 19th. And so we've got 3 streams planned for upcoming Fridays. And what I want to do for June is we've had a lot of new faces come on and talk Stargate. You know, Jeff is a repeat visitor here. I want to go back and bring some of our friends who haven't been on in a few months and have another conversation with some of those guys and gals. So look for that schedule coming up. Otherwise, hey, chat, anything else going on that you want to talk about? Dan Ben Thor is my favorite SG-1 character. Fair.
Mm.
Good choice.
Supreme Commander Thor.
Supreme Commander. So go to Gate World when you got a minute and check out the new site. It is a much better experience in mobile now than it used to be. So check us out there. The newest stuff that I'm doing is usually shows up there first. It's been a busy couple of months, so I haven't posted as much lately, but I'm getting plans going for the summer. Also for the summer, we'll do those 3 streams here in June. And then at some point, we're going to have a summer break for Friday live streams. I'll have more to talk about that as we get closer to July. But at some point, we'll be taking a break and figuring out what the future of this format looks like. But man, these are a lot of fun, especially when I have guys like you, Jeff, to come on and talk Stargate with me. And yeah, making a lot of new friends live streaming this year. So I want to keep it going.
Oh yeah, till the wheels fall off, man. That's how I roll.
Yeah, till the wheels fall off. Meanwhile, guys, go and check out Suns and Shadows here on YouTube. They talk Stargate, they talk movies, they talk horror, they talk classic television. And when is the Stargate stream?
Stargates are every Thursday night. We have a special, we're recording one ahead of time tomorrow due to one of our guests, Victor Lamb. If anybody recognizes Stargate Friends, the animated show on YouTube, he is one of those, and he's got his own podcast. He's joining us as we cover Enemy Mine and Space Race tomorrow, but we'll end up loading that up on Thursday as per usual for our streams in its usual slot. So everybody will still be able to get a chance to see that. So
very good. Looking forward to it. Definitely check that out, guys. Did we cover everything? Let me give some thanks. Let me say thanks first to our mods who are with us today. Raj Luthra is in the chat. Lockwatcher. Jeff from Suns and Shadows is here. He's not in the chat. Actually, you might be in the chat, but I don't know if you're
here
modding.
and there.
Yeah, there you are, but you're not necessarily modding.
Correct.
But thanks in person to Jeff for his weekly modding duties. Anthony Rawling is here helping us out. Um I saw Red Xeon at the start of the live stream. So thanks to all the
Yes.
moderators. Thank you also to Gateworld's channel members. What you guys do is amazing, incredible that you're supporting independent fan-made content like this. It really helps out a lot. So a huge thanks to folks. If you're interested in learning more about Gateworld channel membership, just look for the join button under any video on Gateworlds here on YouTube. I found it's sometimes hidden or impossible to find or hard to find on mobile. So look on a desktop browser for that little join button. You can find out more about different tiers of membership. You get your name in the credits. You get some special perks that I forgot to use today. Like here in the chat, we have a Sam, Jack, Daniel, and Teal'c emojis that you can use in chat. And I think we might have enough members that we can add more emojis to our live chats. Stuff like that. But again, it really helps us as independent fan creators to keep doing what we're doing. You guys are awesome. You could have been anywhere on a Friday afternoon or evening where you might be. And you chose to hang out and talk Stargate with me and Jeff. We appreciate it. We're glad that you're
Absolutely.
here. And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.